Are you already building your tech career and you're looking to land a job in 90 days or less? Well, this video is for you. I'll break down what you should do in the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days into practical tips. So you want to stick around. Let's dive right in. In month 1, the first 30 days, this is where you want to actually do a bit of personal reflection and even research. So you need to understand, what are you trying to achieve? What do they really want in the kind of role they are going to be pursuing? Here are some questions that will help you identify your career goals. 1. What type of jobs are you interested in? Are you interested in software development jobs, data analysis jobs, cybersecurity, UI UX design, or what exactly are you interested in? 2. What specific tasks interest you? Are you interested in writing more, programming, or doing a bit of project management? 3. What programming languages do you enjoy? Could it be Python, JavaScript? At this point, I have to say, not every role in tech requires you to code. There are actually a good number of non-coding career paths that you may want to explore. But when you are able to answer all of these questions, it helps you narrow down your career goal. Once that is done, it's time to then identify the kind of companies that you should be on the lookout for. This is where you want to take time to check job boards such as We Work Remotely, Flex Jobs, and a lot of other boards. Even LinkedIn is a good place to find potential employers. We'll be talking more about LinkedIn later in this video. When you land on this company website, you don't just want to check their career pages for job opportunities, or much more than that, you want to actually check different pages of the company's websites to understand their mission, to know what their product or service is all about, and to really understand if they're a good fit for you. Another bonus tip I can suggest here, when you're reading more about a company, a good thing to do is to check out their reviews. So you can go on a platform like Glassdoor to check out the company reviews. Most of the time, current employees or past employees of this company drop reviews, and this will also help you understand more about the company culture and know if it's the right fit for you. Another thing you want to do within the first 30 days of your job search is to update your resume and your LinkedIn. I know this goes without saying, but review your current resume. Is it still in line with the kind of job that you're looking out for, or would you need to craft an entirely new one? Your resume is really the place to highlight your skills, your experience, and even the projects that you've done. Ensure that all of these skills are prominently displayed on your resume. In your resume, you also want to be specific with numbers, achievements, and your accomplishments. For example, if you're a web developer and you've maybe worked on 5 projects in the past, you want to put it in your resume, or you want to mention little things such as the percentage increase in speed, because recruiters are really moved by data. Also, keep your resume formatting clean and easy to skim through. You don't want to write really long paragraphs that are hard to read. You want to make sure that you use bullet points and that the spacing between different parts of the sections are consistent. Finally, be sure to proofread to ensure that there are no grammar mistakes. You want to avoid making a poor impression to recruiters that are checking your resume out. So take time to make sure that you actually dot your I's and cross your T's. Yeah, so we're getting into LinkedIn now. Your resume is complete, but that is not the end of your preparation. Your LinkedIn profile is also very important, and you want to revamp it. A lot of times, job seekers just focus so much on their resume and they fail to understand that LinkedIn is actually a gold mine, and recruiters go there to find high quality talent. So you want to go to your LinkedIn profile. If you do not have a LinkedIn profile, this is where you want to create a LinkedIn profile and make sure that the different sections of your LinkedIn profile are well optimized. Use a descriptive and professional headline. For example, you could use something like front-end engineer, data analyst, cybersecurity training, or whatever headline that best describes your current experience. In the About section of your LinkedIn profile, you want to craft a very compelling professional summary that talks about your experience in detail, tells potential employers why you're passionate about tech, and even explains the tools that you use. When talking about your experience in the job experience section, you want to also make sure that you use action verbs that will immediately spur the recruiter to say things like, yeah, I think this person knows what they are doing. When your LinkedIn profile and resume are complete, the job is not fully done. You also want to ask feedback from family, friends, and even a career coach. I remember I did this a while back when I wanted to apply to a role. I sent my resume to my brother to check it out, and he actually had good feedback for me. There are a lot of things that I did not see and I overlooked, so he gave me feedback in terms of formatting, in terms of the fonts I was using, making sure that they were consistent, and even punctuation and grammar errors that I did not notice. So this is why it's very important to not just be the only one that's looking at your resume, but you want to get feedback from family and friends and anyone really that can give you feedback. Another thing you want to do throughout the entire 90 days, month 1 to month 3, is to learn in public. So what do I mean by learning in public? Learning in public really means sharing your experience and your learning journeys with other people, not just you. Learning in the open, basically. So whatever you learn each day, you want to talk about it either on LinkedIn, you want to tweet about it, you want to write about it in form of blog articles. All of these help to improve the perception that people have about you. Most of the time when you do this, you realize that you're building a personal brand that potential employers would be interested in hiring because they see you as an industry expert in that particular field. So I remember when I was just starting my front-end engineering journey, I used to talk about JavaScript a lot. I used to blog on dev.to, and this helped potential employers understand that I was doing something extra more than just applying for a job and looking to land a role. So you see why learning in public is really important, because it stands you out from the competition. There are a lot of people, applying for a job out there, but you want to differentiate yourself. You want to identify yourself as someone that is doing something extra and that is not just looking for a job. One thing that is so important to note when you're learning in public is to maintain consistency. So you don't want to post today or write about something today and people will not hear about you 2 weeks time, but you want to be consistent. If you choose to post about something every other day or every day, write about it, create a blog article, create a video content. So you want to make sure that there's a consistency regarding your learning, and doing it this way, people are up to date with your journey, and most of the time you even stand the chance of getting referrals to jobs, or people even sending you personal messages to hire you or to even give you a freelance gig. If you've enjoyed the video up until now, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Another thing to do between the first 30 to 90 days is to set up job alerts. So you can set up job alerts on platforms like LinkedIn, and this really helps you to maximize your time because you don't always have to go every day on job boards to search for jobs, or you can simply set alerts so that when new jobs that fit your criteria are posted, you can instantly get notifications. To set up job alerts on LinkedIn, log into your LinkedIn account and go to the jobs tab. In the search bar, enter the job keyword. For example, you can enter data analyst and then use the filters to make the job more specific. For example, you can put the company and the location. Once you have a criteria that is matching the kind of job that you want, go ahead to the top, toggle set alerts, and that's it. You can further customize some settings for your job alerts by clicking manage alerts, and then you can set the frequency. How often do you want to get these alerts? Do you want to get email notifications or in-app notifications in LinkedIn directly? This is really how to set up job alerts with LinkedIn. You can even take this further by creating job alerts on Google as well. So we are not done yet. This next tip is very important, and I see a lot of people just overlook it. In month 1 to 3, within the first 30 to 90 days, you want to make sure that you're sending out custom job applications for every role that you apply to. I've noticed that a lot of people just send the same job application, the same resume, the same cover letter to different jobs, and I'm like, what? Why would you do that? You want to make sure that every single job application that you send is custom to that job. Sometime last year when I was applying for my role as a developer advocate, one thing I did was to customize every single application, and amazingly I received like a 75% hearback rate, which was like the highest I'd actually received when I was applying for any job. This is to tell you that when you customize your application, you increase the chances of hearing back from a potential employer. To customize job applications, when you're writing your resume or cover letter, you want to use terminologies or phrases that the job description already contains. So for example, if they mentioned Python or whatever tool or software that they mentioned, you want to make sure that you put all of this in your resume and cover letter. If they describe the kind of person that they are looking to hire, you want to make sure that your cover letter adequately conveys that you are the kind of person that they are looking for. In your custom cover letter, you want to make sure that it is addressed specifically for that job. Highlight whatever achievements that demonstrates the experience that they've already highlighted in the job description. Explain why you're interested in the role and the company, and then you want to showcase the skills that are in line with that particular role that you're applying for. One secret I'll give you here is don't just stop at sending your resume or cover letter out, but you want to go the extra mile. So this is something that I've personally done. After submitting an application, I then go on platforms like LinkedIn to check for recruiters or even employees in this company that are probably going to be working in my team. I send them a personalized message as well to let them know that, hey, I just completed the application for this particular role and I'm very excited. You know, I share enthusiasm, and most of the time I get a hear back from them. This is really where the interview starts for me. So remember, when you're sending your application, find someone or the recruiter in the company and follow up with a personalized note. Finally, this is the last and most important tip. In months 2 to 3, you want to make sure that you're prepping yourself to ace the interview. So everything we've talked about now has been preparations up until the interview, because for every job, you need to be interviewed before you're given the role, right? Your interview is the most critical part of this entire process. So you want to make sure that you prepare very well. Since it's a remote job, one thing you can be sure about is that the interview will be held online, virtually, right? So the first rule of thumb when preparing for the remote interview is to ensure that you have a stable connection. The worst thing to do is to go into the interview and start saying, hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Should I turn off my video? No, you don't want to do that at all. I have a lot of interview experiences, and when I was interviewing for this particular role in 2021, about 2 years ago, I actually rent a workstation. So I went to one of those places where you have workstations, and I rented a room just because I wanted stable internet. The internet in my home at that time wasn't very stable and reliable, so I really wanted stable internet. If I could go to this extent to get stable internet, how much more you, right? You really want the job, so you want to make sure that your internet is stable. Almost every interview you go for, at some point, the interviewer will ask, tell me about yourself. And this is where you don't want to stutter. This is where you want to create a highly engaging and interesting story about your journey and why you're even interested in this role. So before the interview, take time to craft this and practice it as many times as possible before you go into that room. You also want to practice very common interview questions such as, what interests you about this role and our company? Can you describe a challenging project you worked on? How did you overcome this obstacle? What programming languages or tools are you most proficient in? How do you handle remote work challenges such as communication and time management? During the interview, if you're going for a highly technical role, be sure to go in with the idea that they will probably test you on code challenges. So practice code challenges before you go in for this interview. A lot of times when answering questions in an interview setting, you want to use the STAR method to answer these questions. And STAR really means the situation, the task, the action, and the results. Finally, prepare very thoughtful questions that you want to ask the interviewer in return. It could be about the company, it could be about their culture, it could be about specifically the role they're applying to. The interview process is a two-way street. While they're interviewing you, you're also interviewing them. So don't see it as they're doing you a favor. Go into the interview to ask genuine questions about whatever you want to know about. Most of the time, interviewers get impressed when an interviewee comes in with very thoughtful questions. So you want to keep this at the back of your mind. Thanks for watching this video, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, or whatever thoughts that you have after watching the video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more videos like this.